So today is 9/11, and if you're an American, it hits home for you. A little less each year probably, unless you were directly impacted by it, but it's something that we all remember. That's why the slogan, never forget, right? Never forget. We read off the names of the victims, or the people who died, that day, every single year on television, each individual name. Okay. I remember I was a sophomore in college in South Jersey, and I had the TV on, had the news on, and I saw that something had happened, but it wasn't sure yet what was going on. I was getting ready for class. So I went to my class, went to mass media class, didn't talk about anything because nobody knew anything. Came back out of class, and I noticed that the TV was on in the lobby, and there were a lot of people standing around, and I'm like, So I went back to my dorm room, put on the TV, and that's when I saw the second plane hit live into the Twin Tower, and eventually saw them crumble. And just the faces of the newscasters, right? It was something that I will never forget. And everybody who, they share their experience, whether they had a lot of people, especially if you're close to New York City, friend, family member, who was either there at the time or in New York, or you knew somebody, nearby. So everybody has their story. But the point is, we don't forget, right? Each year, we don't forget. We don't remember maybe as significantly as time passes. It's been well over 20 years, but we still remember, and we were unified after that day. It brought us together in a weird way. And so many things have happened between then and now that we've forgotten. We've had mass shootings. We had a shooting yesterday. We had, all these events, natural disasters, COVID, for example, that we forget, right? We're desensitized to the shock value over time, just normalization of stuff. But what was different about something like 9/11, where it unified us, right? So much. And now we're so divided, we're so polarized. Part of it is politics, right? Where we have two sides fighting against each other, and there's no longer a gray area in between. It's like, what happened to this gray area of being a little over here, a little over here? No, now we are pushed way to the sides, okay? And something has happened. The something that has happened, I think, is that we haven't kept our egos in check. Okay? The ego is the part of us, not us, the part of us that creates a sense of identity, right? It allows us to move throughout the world, so it's helpful. But unchecked, the ego can inflate to the size of a hot air balloon. And we're seeing this now, where our purpose, or many people's purpose in life, is to blame or be right and conquer somebody else over what their actual purpose may be in their true self. Okay, so living out of ego more than actual what you are here, who you are here to be. Okay, your significance in this world. So we're seeing this where everybody needs to be right over somebody else. Social media, the biggest experiment of our time, human experiment. It's become a cesspool, I will admit. It's become a very low vibrational place where everybody is trying to satisfy their ego over other people. And it's like, why can't we get past this as humans and evolve beyond this, right? This is the conquest, our own personal conquest. You just become a statistic over time. Normalization, selective bias, selective silence in some cases. Right? Why are some people silent on some topics and not others, right? This is a big experiment. This is the phase, I was thinking about it the other day. I was walking down the road and I saw snake skin, okay? And I thought, okay, you're the snake, how are we doing? We're shedding our skin. Some of us are shedding our skin, letting go, but others are still trapped in this place of ego inflation. And yes, we all do it time to time, we get reactive. But what is the ego? The ego reacts, right? It's our reptilian part of us that reacts to like dangerous things coming at us, right? So it's the part of us that's very instinctual, and we're sitting at a very instinctual place right now where we're just reacting to one another. We're not listening, we're not actually talking, we're reacting, we're not working together. We're living out of our ego, okay? And I honestly don't know how we get beyond that, because everybody has their own personal lens on the world, and they're filtering their reality based on what they are going through in their lives and what baggage maybe they have, okay? You could even say what karma they may be experiencing in life, if that's what you believe, that kind of stuff. But we've become at a place where ethics and morals and stuff is diluted. It's diluted. So is reality split? No, the reality is not split. I think our consciousness is split to a certain degree, where we have instinct versus, or maybe it's split in each of us in a sort of way, in a symbolic way maybe, where it's a fight between our ego and our instinct versus our higher self. Who will win in this battle, right? Are we just going to react to everybody and everything and just repeat the patterns of our time, history over and over and over again, and we don't learn? You know, it's one of those things, and today marks a day where, you know, I feel like every year 9/11 gets like degraded a little bit, because there's so much information now, and there's so much distraction, and there's so many terrible things happening in the world, wars and stuff, where it's just like, all right, it's 9/11, right? Where it used to really be like, you would sit with it, you know, now we don't sit with it. Information age, technology, convenience, having things, information put in front of us 24/7 has done something to our brains. You know, I talk about simplifying your life, but never dumb down your mind and your intelligence and knowledge, okay? And I think that is the phase we're going through right now, is this battle between kind of dumbing down our brains so we're not as conscious in the world. And we're not as aware of what we're doing and how we're reacting to other people, or how the effect it's going to have on the collective. Because at the end of the day, we all affect one another, you know? The ego says, no, I'm my own person, I'm individual. Yeah. That's what it says, right? We're all individual. It starts with you recognizing when you are just reacting. It starts with you recognizing when it's your ego speaking, when you are feeling that impulse to react because you want to prove something over somebody else, to conquer somebody else. Think about that. Be aware of that the next time. We all do it. It's like road rage, right? Somebody's cuts me off, I want to tailgate them. But then I put myself in a dangerous situation. So the more we just react and impulse, the more we put ourselves in dangerous territory, okay? Everything has a vibration, language has a vibration. So if we're constantly using really strong, aggressive language, or the context, the energy behind the language, because it's not always words, it's the energy behind the words, right, when we're speaking. And a lot of that gets muffled online. You can't tell, but you make assumptions, and assumption is one of the most difficult things. So anyway, just be aware, sit with your thoughts today a little bit, take some time for yourself, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.